Season 1. NS Hosa, Axiom Acer, MVP, FX Open, LGIM, AZUBU, Prime, Startail.
Welcome back. Supernova was able to put his team on the scoreboard. So right now, Supernova, as well as the rest of his team, feeling a little bit more comfortable than they were just moments before.
MVP, though, is still in high spirits. They kind of already achieved what they had to maintain on the top of the league, and they send out Shine as the second player.
Yeah. Shine being a little bit of an unexpected choice. Maybe just to get him a little bit of exposure, put him in the booth a little bit more. I mean, he's played in the booth already so many times, but it could also be that he's having a great success in this matchup right now. So there's a lot of different possibilities.
And right now, I actually went through the stats once again, just a quick look at it. So even if in this situation MVP is now being taken out, with the 2 wins that they already have, there is no way for MVP to drop to second place anymore.
Yeah.
Even if LGIM all kills Startail tomorrow, then we would have an indicator of +9 for both teams, and because of the direct comparison between them, MVP would still be on top of the ranks.
Yeah, so congratulations to MVP. They've done it. Yeah. They've secured their top spot. So for them, that might be the reason why they're sending Shine out here, because they're like, well, it doesn't matter who we send out. Shine wanted to play today, so we'll send him out, whatever the reason is. And, you know, it's all about AZUBU right now. They need to take these players out.
And it just shows how dominant MVP was during the entire season. They had like the sickest indicator of all the teams, and this helps him so much now. They are relaxed, they're calm, because they know that they've already delivered this season. And the other teams, they are not in such a comfortable position, far from it.
Yeah. Sleep giving a smile there. Could see, I don't think we'll see him later on today, actually. The time for using him, I think, is past.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Sleep. We already got a glimpse of a player that prepared in the booth earlier. That was, of course, for a different opponent, but he might still be the 4th player for Team AZUBU. If you paid attention to that, you know who we're talking about. And currently, we have a Zerg player here for Team MVP with Shine, a former TSL Zerg player.
Yep. And this is much more important for AZUBU, this win. Supernova really got to be feeling it here. Taking out Keen, taking the momentum away from him, taking the momentum arguably away from MVP. As long as he can keep his cool here, he certainly has a great shot at taking Shine out. The map is Red City.
Yeah, now going into Red City, Shine of course wants to prove himself, but as you already mentioned, Supernova and AZUBU, they need the wins. Can he deliver? Will Shine take the 3rd point for Team MVP now? Going into the next match here at the GSTL 2013, MVP up against AZUBU with Cullen Wolf. And starting to the top right, we have our MVP player, the 2nd player for Team MVP. It is a Zerg this time, former TSL Zerg player.
MVP Shine.
Yep, not to be confused with the Kespa player Shine. Totally different.
Shine up against the Terran to the bottom left of the map. Cross-positioned here, we have the Terran for Team AZUBU.
AZUBU Supernova.
Supernova, strong player. Got his team on the scoreboard, takes the first win. Can he continue the momentum? We are cross spawns on Red City. We've seen a lot of timings hit on Red City, but usually in these positions, the Zerg player is a little bit more reluctant because it's such a long walking distance.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what exactly Shine is going to do. Shine is a TSL Zerg player, a former TSL Zerg player, and they all like their roaches, all of them. That's true for Hyun, that's true for Symbol, and Shine was of course like taught by the best, and there are a lot of things that he can use, especially drop play. Drops with roaches, that's something that Hyun perfected against Protoss in Wings of Liberty.
Yeah.
Symbol has shown that against players like Innovation in Heart of the Swarm. So there are a lot of timings that he could use here. He's shown a lot of Lingmuta bailing as well in the past, so there's a lot of variation of what he could show us today. But if you're up against Shine, you always have to remember the school that he went through.
Yeah, exactly. He's from Team Swarm Life, as they called it.
Yeah.
And right now we see for Supernova CC first, so it continues the trend for today. Also making it on the high ground, just like his opponent that just before him, Keen, did. And you know, now that the drone knows, okay, this is not close spawns, he also can confirm in just a few seconds with the overlord to the bottom right. He's going to say, okay, probably not going to take my gas right away. Going to just drone up, go for that queen style. And he sees now he's going to also damage this SCD slightly.
Yeah. For him, it's really making the choice right now what kind of style he wants to play. He could go either for the queens and go into the third base and then try to defend with that. He could also just drop the gas and just dominate the map for now. But against the Terran player, even if he gets the command center first, you usually as a Terran follow that up with pretty early gas regardless. So you have to make sure that you get at least the defense up against potential Hellbat drops then later on. Drone doesn't get into the main base here. So of course also always the question if you want to allow your opponent to get in and then trap the Harvester and take it down.
Yeah. A few choices. Well, still no gas. Gas is already up, on the other hand, for Supernova. He's mined nearly 100. Will start his factor very soon. And the second gas indicating he probably will go into Hellbats.
Yeah. And for Shine, I mean, he's getting his own gas now as well. He, of course, needs that. But no third base for him just yet. Just getting the scouting information out with those Zerglings. And for him, it's really the question, what kind of path does he want to go down? We've even seen a lot of players just go into the Roach Warren initially, get 5 of them out, or just having as a safety precaution, and then go into the Ling Nula Baneling. It's usually what you want to do because you need to deal with your opponent's mobility, but Roaches in the beginning are very valuable when you're up against Hellbats, when you're up against Hellions, so they can really help you defend in the early game, and a lot of players will try to mix both styles a little bit to just cater to those needs that you have at different times in the game.
It's very hard for Shine to get an early Overlord Scout at these positions as well. As you can see, his one to the bottom right is kind of hovering over there, and the one to the north of the base of Supernova is going to take a long time to get down there, so there's the armory, but it will not be scouted, not for a long time.
He has, of course, on the other hand, the vision. With the Zelnaga Watchtower being controlled by him in the middle of the map, he knows what's going on there. This is the area that usually you are trying to dodge with your Medivac if you want to go for the drop. But there's always the chance that you just run into a random Overlord on the map. And we've seen the style with the fast upgrade into Overlord speed already in the last few games. And this is also something that Shine currently does. And this underlines once again 2 former TSL Zergs going into the same playstyle. It's of course an upgrade that is getting a little bit more common, but it kind of stands out that especially TSL Zergs, or former TSL Zergs, are using that quite a lot.
And this is going to help him scout so much as well. The Overlord will be able to fly in and see. The timing of how this works out is really good for him, and he will come in and see that armory. Widowmine's finishing again here for Supernova, just like we saw from Keen. He's doing essentially the identical build. Starts stim as well. And here comes that Overlord speed about to be done.
One of the reasons, by the way, why they are still having very similar styles sometimes is that they talk a lot with each other. And Hyun is in Korea and Symbol is playing. He's nearly always at the studio and they talk between the games, trying to give him a few advice. They are talking, of course, also online, just trying to exchange a few ideas how to deal in similar matchups. So there's a very close bond between all the former players of TSL. They were a little bit more like a family than like a team, and that really shows even after the team disbanded.
That's so true. I mean, it's been a long time since they've disbanded, but their legacy is going to be here for years to come even. It's a team that made so many great Zergs.
The Roach Warren is now nearly completed, and with the scouting information that he has, he of course knows what's coming. He gets a couple of Roaches out on the game, speed for the Zerglings is halfway done, and with the extra Queens he's already setting up his defense. He's going to 6 Queens in total. That allows him great creep spread, good anti-air defense, and of course the Roaches on the ground then can also help out. So he can snipe Medivacs, and this is a really good position for him to be in right now, just waiting for the Medivac to appear.
The spores are the most important part. You know, if you have the spore there, that's like, you know, Queen, yeah, it's got good DBS. You can kind of float around it though and tank a few Queen shots, but the Spore does so much damage so quickly. You're not sticking around when there's a Spore Crawler there. So not skipping that and also getting the extra Queens so ready here. He made only 6 Roaches and goes into a lair now, so he's not losing any time on his tech too much.
That's exactly what I was mentioning earlier, just mixing those styles a little bit up, having the safety precaution in the early game. And for him, he's playing super safe here. He's not only getting the 6 Queen, but the Roach Warren on top of that. And then he transitions into the Baneling Nest, and with the lair tech that we now have, he is most likely going to go into Aspire. He could still try to hit a similar timing that Symbol did in one of the games earlier with a lot of Roaches and Banelings on 3 bases, but in the long run, it's most likely going to be him focusing on the ground units for now, namely Zerglings instead of Roaches.
He's also scouted the tech labs on the barracks. He saw there was no third CC, and he knows there's a huge follow-up timing coming. That's part of the reason why he continues to make so many attacking units, because yes, he still has to get his upgrades out. That's why he has the Evolution Jammers coming, but most importantly, he needs to hold this specific push that's coming across the map right now. This is, if he holds this with flying colors, he's massively ahead.
Yeah. And he already spotted it. The Queens are just waiting for the Medivacs to appear. And Supernova, he's testing the waters. He's just looking around, and he's at the edge of the creep and trying to fly in somewhere, has a quick look, sees the Queens, and is like, well, there's no way that I'm going to get in right now. Upgrades, by the way, that's the Spire. Upgrades indicating upgrades for the Zerglings. Therefore, later on in the game, we might see Ultralisk or Broodlord transition, but for now, it's going to be Muta Baneling.
Yeah. This push looks really, really strong.
Yeah, it is. It's not one of those pushes that you are very afraid of as a Zerg player.
71 to 48 army supply right now.
You need the perfect unit ratio for this, and there are not a lot of Banelings at this point. And actually,
he has none. These are the first 4, the first 6 he's morphing right now. He could be in trouble here. Well, he hesitates a little bit. He needs to get in there. +1 is almost done.
This is going to get very, very tricky. The angle of attack is really crucial here, and those Helmets, they're tanking a lot of the damage. The Marauders doing a great job at sniping. There are not a lot of Banelings. The Queens, of course, with the extra energy, can transfuse quite a bit. And Supernova is very reluctant to engage, to actually move in.
Yeah, really reluctant, really poor micro. He was stutter-stepping his Marauders and his Hellbats when he only need to do one at a time.
There are still units in the middle of the map that he does not use. A lot of units are just at the Zalnaga Watchtower. I think he completely forgot about them.
Yeah, I mean, he is transitioning into a third base, but he still needs to do something with this. He can't just walk home. Sim will be very happy if he does. He needs to trade at least a little bit here.
Shine would also like it if you...
yeah, that's what I mean to say. Excuse me.
Well, here we go. There comes the scan, and this time Supernova is willing to engage. The Banelings are trying to make their way to the front.
And, you know, he trades a little bit here. He's forcing units instead of drones, but...
1-1 is going to be completed in just a few seconds for Shine. He also has an Overlord now at the potential third base of Supernova and starts spreading creep. So 11 additional Banelings are coming in, and so far it looks like Supernova is not going to end this with this push.
Yeah, definitely not. Not even really getting any serious damage done. He takes a supply deficit as a result. He is very cost efficient. He's about 1,000 resources more cost efficient than his opponent, but that base, that third base has been up for so long, it's been so untouched. The upgrades continue. He has the Spire tech out now.
Exactly. He's already going to the +1 attack upgrade. Once he decides that it's time to move into the Mutalisk, he will just simply do so. He invested a lot of gas into the Banelings that he has. That gives him safety, but it also delays the dominance that he wants to establish. And he still has the vision on the map, which is the more important part. Yeah. He needs to make sure that one of the reasons why you want to play Mutalisks is you want to shut down drop play. And so far, Shine has done a great job at shutting down all the Medivacs that were trying to go into his main base. So this is one of the problems that he doesn't really face right now. He should have seen that Medivac as well.
Yeah. By the way, very heavy supply block here for Supernova, who has not started any depots at all. And he still hasn't started any. I mean, he's been here for a long time. Now he starts 3.
The Medivac was spotted, and he actually moved units at the beginning towards the destination of it. Ooh, a couple of kills here on the Widowmine, not taking too many of the Harvesters down.
It's much more important, though, that the Widowmine didn't kill all those Zerglings, because that's one of those things where you bring the Widowmine with you, and that can happen. Supernova is starting to catch up in the upgrades. He'll have the +2 attack armor a little bit faster.
I really like the position that Shine is establishing now. I think he needs another base. He needs to get a 4th base at this point. He's not going to be able to break through with this army. What he wants to do at some point is trade this army.
Yeah, he doesn't want the Roaches anymore.
Exactly, the Roaches. He needs to get rid of those.
That was kind of weird. I mean, I guess the idea is there, but that one...
There was good control by Shine. That can actually just backfire. Yeah. If you do drop those Hellbats and you don't need them anymore, and suddenly a lot of the Banelings just detonate or you kill them, that is a nice move by Supernova. Didn't really work out. As you said, the idea was there, but Shine microed immediately. He right-clicked his army so that nothing attacked those Hellbats, and then he only used the Roaches to take them out and completely saved those Banelings.
The basic idea for Supernova there is hoping that Shine's not paying attention at that moment. Medivac with 6 hit points left looks like it will live to fly away another day.
Still no 4th base for Shine though, and he's 3 base against 3 bases. He is going into 2-2. That will help him. Mutalisks will deal with the Medivacs, but he needs another base, and there it is. Okay, gets the 4th base
but
now.
But it's not going to last, because that Medivac was going right for it. Really nice timing there.
really great cancel also. I mean, he saw that immediately, and that was actually close.
Yeah, you know, that was so smart by Supernova to send the drop over there because he expected there would be a base there. It was a lucky timing in a sense that he was able to clear that up, get some tumors here.
Yeah, the Mutalisk also doing a little bit of damage. Now the Marauders in the main base, they can chase down those queens. Needs to transfuse.
Yeah, you should save those. But meanwhile, the attack in the middle of the map continues. This army is distracted by 4 Marauders. You don't need your entire Roach and Ling and Muta army for this. This gives a huge opening. You know, that's kind of sloppy defense there.
All the creep is being spread back, and now we pushed back, and now we have the rest of the army moving into the third base, trying to take down as much of the defense as possible. In the middle of the map, though, great shots with the Widow Mines, and now the Mutalisks are trying to engage, taking down as many mechs as humanly possible. The Banelings still on the roll, trying to take down as many Marines as they can, and the Marauders, they are just chasing away here, trying to stutter step.
Those mines? No. Not really the best mine hits.
No, he could have done more with them, but it was a nice idea. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Supernova in a lot of trouble now. Going into the main base here, trying to assassinate the queens. He should be able to get at least one of them if he micros right now.
We have too many Zerglings already there.
Yeah, he can't get them.
And Supernova is paying dearly. He's down to 130 against 200 supply. What Shine needs, though, is a 4th base and potentially also a 5th. He needs more bases. He needs to make sure that his economy will stay superior. And for Supernova, it's all about defending.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look good for him. This 3rd is so exposed.
He's losing so many of his drops. The drop defense for Shine has been stellar. And when you don't have a 4th base, it becomes, you know, about 25% easier to defend your bases.
Wow, and the base goes down.
He killed it. He didn't even force a lift or anything. It's just dead.
The 3rd base is immediately gone. The +3 attack upgrade is going to finish for Supernova fairly soon, but it's already too late. He's way behind.
Yeah, even if he trades decently here, there's just more units rallied across the map constantly.
Most of the Widow Mines are immediately gone, and this is just Shine leaving his footprint here in the match and about to take this game, the 3rd game for Team MVP today. Supernova is in tatters here. He's trying to stabilize somehow, but the Roaches are already in the middle of his base, and Shine, he just doesn't stop.
Yeah, not looking good here for Supernova. Starting to lose his depots at the front. No more wall. That means the Lings can run in comfortably here without any worries. Widow Mine's coming out and dying.
His
this
army
is game over.
is practically non-existent, and Mutalisks and Lings are running into the main base. We have Roaches, we have Banelings.
Double the army supply here for Shine over Supernova. And he's just looking for Widow Mines with those Overseers right now. Because he knows maybe a few Widow Mine shots might allow Supernova to stabilize. Maybe. He's just covering all his bases here, killing those Widow Mines.
What Shine has to make sure of is that there's not going to be a 3rd base for Supernova, and he will win this match. If he runs with the economy now and into the macro game, he's going to take that easy peasy. Needs his own 4th base, needs to get a 5th as well, deny a 3rd.
Finally starting that 4th again. It's been a long time coming.
And he's going into the infestation pit, so he realizes that it's going to be a little bit tricky for him to really take Supernova down right now with all those Widow Mines that are being borrowed. But at the same time, he also knows that if he plays this safe, he should be able to win this game fairly easy.
It's going to be 3-3 upgrades for Supernova pretty soon, but he just doesn't have an army. And he's actually not going to get that 3-3 because his Mutas are going to veto that. Yeah,
the Mutalisks are really just making sure that the mobility... He's even contaminating them even though the engineering bay is burning down.
Yeah. Oh, he needs to be careful with his Mutas. I mean, for him losing a Muta here or two is not at the end of the world, but you know, just gonna make sure you don't want to throw that gas away, that threat that you have over your opponent, especially when it comes to taking down the 3rd base.
With the army for Supernova being as small as it is, he can just use his Mutalisks to draw the units out, to just scatter them across the map and use the additional mobility. And it looks like Supernova wants to go for a counter-attack. He thinks that the best defense is an offense.
Yeah, that seems to be the way he's thinking this entire game. And he's going to be caught here. There's enough Lings back at home. He's already morphing some Banelings. His entire base is in towers. He's never going to have a new army. The Banelings here, if they come for the flank, could be disastrous. Well, if they come this way, this is could be disastrous for Shine.
Yeah, he can even set up a few traps. The problem really is if you take down the production buildings with the Mutalisks, then even if that army takes down a base, you still have a better production and a bit of income. And here come those Banelings moving in!
Great surround here, a good lift. But I mean, if they're in the medevacs, they're not doing damage, and all the production is still destroyed. He's spotted, he's just going to be chased down. This drop getting into Shine a little bit, though.
I mean, it's cute what he's trying, but it's not going to be successful. He just doesn't have the tools to accomplish that goal. That's his biggest problem. He has good macro management but multitasking, but the issue really being a numbers game. And with this few units on the map, you can have all the micro in the world, but you're not going to win the final battle.
Yeah. Even Gomio would say GG here.
It's 52 overall supply against 170, and to the bottom left, the Mutalists are taking everything down.
GG. Imagine if he had even had 5 meters at home to stop those drops from lifting like that. That would have ended even faster.
Coach Choi is very, very happy about Shine's performance here.
As he should be.
I think the only player who actually doesn't like what's going on here is Super.
Yeah. I think so. You know, this could be the time where they send Sleep out for a ZVZ, but the thing is, if he does that, then he's going to get attacked by somebody else.
I mean, earlier on we saw Boom Boom prepare in the booth. Boom Boom was supposed to be the 4th player if Supernova loses to Keen.
Yeah.
It might be Boom Boom now in the game against Shine as the last man standing. We could also see a Protoss player now that races of the opponent has changed.
Yeah, could be. I have no feelings on this. I feel like it could be anybody. I could see Ganji. I could see, you know, maybe San. More likely, I'm feeling that we see either Ganji or Sleep. Maybe Boom Boom as well for ZVZ. I suppose he could do that. He's one of the better ZVZers.
I don't really see Sleep. The thing is, look at it from AZUBU's point of view. You have to take a lot of games right now. You have to at least win 2 games. If you win 2 games right now, you're safe. You know that. You already have 1 point so far. So if you win 2 additional matches, then you will be in the playoffs. That's a fact. And for them, I just don't see Sleep accomplishing that. Well, he can do it, of course, but I feel the safer bet is sending out someone like Boom Boom.
Keep in mind that to get that first point, they have to ZVZ if they send out a Zerg, and that's never comfortable.
What? Sorry?
If they send out either Boom Boom or Sleep, either one of them, they'll have to do a ZVZ first, which is kind of an uncomfortable mirror matchup. But sometimes you just got to put that card on the table.
Whoever comes out has a really tough time.
Yeah.
He is going to get sniped in the next game, most likely. At least that's the idea that MVP has here. But first you have to get past Shine. So
DMZ is the map, which doesn't really tell us a whole lot. It's a map we've seen all matchups on, picked for anything. Whether it's Pros versus Pros, even sometimes you see DMZ. So, you know, for that reason, I could see the ZVZ here with Boom Boom.
I feel the most I mean, we could see Ganji, for example. I don't know if he's in really good shape right now or what's going on with him. We have a lot of other players sitting on the bench right now that could also step it up. Boom Boom prepared earlier. He was supposed to go up against Keen if Supernova would have lost the Terran versus Terran. And Boom Boom is a player who actually is really good in ZVZ, or historically was a very good ZVZ player. He was one of the first who took down ST when ST had this 6 streak in the mirror match. And Boom Boom did it not with cheese, but with very solid macro games. So he could be the player that they send out. He's an accomplished player, very experienced one that can also then later on take the second win. But whoever it is has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, because if he doesn't win 2 games, then the chances of AZUBU to advance to the playoffs are very slim.
Yeah, very, very slim indeed. This is a very, very tense moment for AZUBU. They have to make sure they pick the proper player.
If they lose now, if the next player loses immediately, then basically StarTale tomorrow has to receive a beating by LGIM for AZUBU to move on into the playoffs. So it's completely out of their own control if they lose the next map. They need to win 2 more maps. If they achieve that, then even with losing the team match, they would advance because of the better indicator towards FX Open.
Exactly. It's time to find out who it's going to be. Let's introduce the final player. Boom Boom in the corner, and it is him.
The man with the farting noises is going to be the last player for Team AZUBU.
A fair choice, but he will have to do the ZVZ against Shine. And you know what? The more dire the situation, the more into the rainbow smiles.
So far, he was pretty, I don't want to say lucky, but he always had this edge by picking a player that was able to come through for him, especially in the last few matches that we've seen. Yep. But now Shine doesn't have the most impressive record in Heart of the Swarm in ZVZ, but he didn't also play too many games offline, so that's not really a lot we have to go on. And Boom Boom, on the other hand, I mean, I can definitely see him take the game against Shine. The bigger question is, can he take another one after that?
Yeah, so true. ZVZ, though, a scary place to be. DMZ, one of those maps where, know, ZBZ, you can see a lot of aggression because the open entrance to the base. Shine not looking too phased by this. Again, this doesn't really matter all too much for MP. In fact, if Boom Boom gets 2 wins, we could actually just stop the match and walk away because nothing else happens after that. Obviously, that's not going to happen because we want to see who wins the match. But if it goes through, then neither teams will be affected by the final match, the Game 7.
What?
If I'm not mistaken.
No. I think you got it completely wrong.
Oh, of course, because if AZUBU wins, that makes a difference too. My mistake.
Not only if AZUBU wins, like, the next match is, like, they need at least 2 wins.
Yeah, that's what I said. If they have 2 wins, then I guess, like, both of these teams don't get affected by anything else after that.
No, but it's important for the rest.
Individual ranking and the rest of the teams as well. For them, I say, though. And DMZ, the map choice here, only a few maps left. Boom Boom looks, you know, I had to say he looks a little bit stressed. Not extremely so, but he's kind of had that look of nervousness about him.
It's, by the way, also really important for them because if AZUBU wins, then they have a really good chance of taking 3rd place. If LGIM loses against StarTel tomorrow. Which could happen. We could see that.
Yeah, that's true as well.
So, Shine versus Boom Boom is our first ZVZ. We already had a 1-way match with the TVT. Jumping into DMZ, let's see who's going to come out on top of it. We have Zerg versus Zerg, AZUBU up against Team MVP at the GSTL. Well done.